Don't turn away, she whispered, already unbuttoning with a fearless smile. On the edge of the human colony ship Aurora's Pride, Captain Alara Kane stood on the observation deck, her hands gripping the cool railing. She watched the distant nebula shimmer in pale blue, feeling the weight of the unknown pressing against her mind. Don't turn away, she whispered to herself, though the deck was empty. The words were not a warning this time. They were a promise, a reminder to keep watching, to never give up, even when the galaxy seemed indifferent. The Aurora's Pride was humanity's first attempt at deep space colonization beyond the Orion sector. It carried 2,000 settlers, engineers, scientists, and dreamers, all hoping to carve out a new home among the stars. The journey had been long and difficult, filled with technical failures, storms of cosmic dust, and moments when hope seemed to flicker like a dying light. Yet Alara had survived, as had the ship, and tonight something unusual had happened. A signal had appeared on the ship's sensors, faint but distinct. It pulsed slowly, almost like a heartbeat, coming from a nearby star system that had never been charted before. The ship's computers could not identify its origin. "Captain, you need to see this," said Lieutenant Rion Mayers, stepping onto the observation deck with his tablet glowing in the dim light. His voice held a mixture of excitement and unease. "It's not a natural signal. I've run it through every filter. It's deliberate." Alara's brow furrowed. "Deliberate? You mean someone or something is trying to contact us?" Rion nodded. "Yes, but it's unlike any communication we've ever received. The frequency is strange, almost as if it's alive." Alara turned back to the stars, trying to locate the source. The nebula's glow made it difficult, but her mind worked quickly, connecting pieces of data. Humans had always been explorers, problem solvers, survivors. If there was a signal in the unknown, they would face it. "We'll need a team," Alara said. "A small, skilled group to investigate. I want people who can think fast and adapt faster. This is not just science. This is first contact, and we cannot fail." By the next hour, the team was assembled. Alongside Alara and Rion, there was Dr. Leela Chen, the colony's chief scientist, known for her calm logic and brilliant mind. Sergeant Malik O'Reilly, the security officer who had survived 3 asteroid storms, and Ensign Tova Jansen, a young pilot whose instincts for navigating deep space had already saved the ship. Twice, the small shuttle Intrepid was prepped for launch. Its engines hummed with energy as it detached from the colony ship. Alara watched the lights of the Aurora's Pride fade, leaving them in the silent ocean of stars. "Remember," she said, gripping the controls for a brief moment before letting Tova take over. "Humanity is strong because we never turn away from the unknown. We face it. And tonight we face it together." The shuttle moved toward the source of the signal, the dark expanse swallowing them in its cold embrace. As they approached, the signal grew stronger, more complex. It pulsed like a living rhythm, almost beckoning them. "This is incredible," Leela whispered, scanning the readings. "It's not just a signal, it's information, patterns, coordinates, instructions." Alara felt a chill run down her spine. Instructions for what? Before Leela could answer, the shuttle's sensors detected something impossible. A massive structure floating silently in the void, partially cloaked in shimmering energy. Its surface was metallic but organic, with shapes that seemed to move and breathe, almost like it had a mind of its own. "By the stars," Malik muttered, gripping the side of his seat. "Whatever built that, it's not human." Tova maneuvered closer, her hands steady despite the tension. "I've never seen anything like this. It's huge, maybe 10 times the size of our colony ship." Alara stared at the structure, her heart pounding. Humans had faced many challenges, hostile planets, rogue comets, dangerous cosmic storms, but nothing like this. Yet fear did not overwhelm her. Humans were survivors, they adapted. They faced the unknown with courage, and she knew that courage would guide them now. The shuttle hovered near a surface opening, a smooth circular entryway that glowed with faint blue light. The signal seemed strongest there, as if inviting them in. "Prepare for docking," Alara commanded. "And remember, we are explorers. We observe, we learn, we survive. No rash actions. One wrong move could cost us everything." As the shuttle slowly connected to the structure, a low hum resonated through the hull, vibrating the very metal beneath their feet. The team exchanged glances. None of them had ever felt anything like it. "Feels alive," Rion said softly. "Not in the biological sense, but it's aware, like it knows we're here." Leela adjusted her instruments. I'm picking up energy fluctuations, not dangerous, not yet, but definitely something intelligent. Alara stepped forward, her hand brushing against the shuttle's interior panel. Then we communicate. Humans always find a way to communicate. The hatch opened with a hiss, revealing an interior filled with glowing patterns on walls that seemed to pulse in response to their presence. The air inside was breathable, oddly similar to Earth's, though faintly charged with a strange energy. Malik tightened his grip on his scanner. Stay sharp. We don't know what's inside. Could be defensive. Could be... He stopped as the walls shifted, forming pathways and corridors that seemed to lead them forward, almost guiding them. Looks like it wants us to go this way, Alara said, and we will together. They moved cautiously, following the glowing paths, each step echoing in the silent corridors. The walls hummed softly, a sound that felt like a heartbeat. This is incredible, Leela murmured. I've studied ancient alien artifacts before, but this is alive and intelligent. It's like a whole civilization built into a single structure. Alara's mind raced. Humans had always built machines and technology, but never had they encountered something that seemed to merge life and technology in this way. The potential knowledge, the advancements, it was beyond comprehension. Then, without warning, a projection appeared before them. It was not solid, but a glowing figure of light, humanoid in shape, yet clearly alien. Welcome, travelers, it said, its voice resonating in their minds rather than through sound. We have waited for your kind. We have observed your courage, your curiosity. Step forward and learn, turn away and remain forever unknown. Alara swallowed, feeling the weight of history pressing down on her shoulders. This was humanity's moment, a chance to prove that humans were not just survivors, but explorers, innovators, heroes. We step forward, she said, her voice steady, firm. The light figure nodded, and the walls around them began to shift again, opening pathways that seemed to promise knowledge, discovery, and perhaps even friendship in the vast, lonely galaxy. As the team moved deeper into the structure, the signal that had drawn them here continued to pulse, now in perfect harmony with their steps, like a song written just for humanity. Alara smiled to herself, whispering again almost instinctively, "Don't turn away." And for the first time, she felt that humans were not alone in the universe. The glowing figure drifted ahead of the human team, its light soft but steady. The walls of the alien structure shifted smoothly, forming wide corridors that curved gently forward. Every step Captain Alara Kane took echoed with a low hum, as if the structure itself was aware of their movement. No one spoke for several moments. The silence felt heavy, not with danger, but with meaning. "This place reacts to us, Doctor." Leela Chen finally said, her voice quiet but focused. "The walls, the light, the air pressure, it's adjusting to human presence." "That means it understands us," Rian Mayers replied. "Or at least it's trying to." The glowing figure stopped at the center of a large chamber. The room expanded outward, its ceiling rising high above them like a sky made of light. Symbols flowed across the walls, changing shapes and colors in slow patterns. "This structure is called the Archive," the figure said, its voice calm and even. "It was built to observe, record, and preserve intelligent life." Malik O'Reilly shifted his stance, scanning the room. "So you've been watching us?" "Yes," the figure replied. "For a long time." Alara stepped forward. "Then you know who we are. Humans don't run from challenges." "If you brought us here, tell us why." The figure's light pulsed softly. "Because your kind is different." That single sentence made everyone pause. "Different how?" Tova Jansen asked, her hands resting lightly on her pilot controls. "Many species reach the stars," the figure explained. "Most did so with fear, some with pride, others with hunger for power. Humans reach the stars with resilience. You fail, you adapt. You fall, you rise, again and again." Leela's eyes widened. "You're saying you've tested others before?" "Yes," the figure replied, "and most failed." The chamber darkened slightly. Images appeared in the air, alien ships drifting lifeless, worlds left silent, civilizations frozen in time. "They were given chances," the figure continued. "But they turned away when faced with the unknown. You did not." Alara clenched her jaw. "So this is a test." "Yes," the floor beneath them shifted suddenly. The room dissolved into light, and the team felt weightless for a brief moment before solid ground returned under their feet. They now stood in a wide open space that looked like the surface of a planet. The sky above was dark red, filled with storms and distant flashes of energy. The ground beneath them cracked and shifted, Tova gasped. This isn't the structure anymore. It is a simulation, the figure said, appearing beside them. A trial. A deep rumble shook the ground. Far in the distance, massive shapes moved through the dust and smoke. Malik raised his scanner. Multiple threats, large ones. Alara took a steady breath. Everyone stay calm. This isn't about fighting. It's about how we respond. The ground split open ahead of them, forming a deep ravine that blocked their path. The air grew hot and the sky darkened further. This world is unstable, Leela said. If this were real, we'd have minutes before total collapse. The glowing figure turned to Alara. You must decide, do you move forward together or do you turn away? Alara looked at her team. No one panicked, no one stepped back. We move forward, she said. Always. The ravine widened, but a series of floating platforms formed slowly across it. They were uneven, shifting slightly as if testing balance. Tova went first, moving carefully but confidently. Malik followed, offering support when the ground shifted. Leela focused on timing each step. Rian adjusted the scanner readings, calling out stable paths. Alara went last, watching her team succeed not because of strength alone, but because of trust. Once across, the ground stabilized. The storm above faded slightly. The glowing figure nodded. You adapt. Without warning, the scene changed again. Now they stood inside a damaged station orbiting a dying star. Alarms echoed through the halls. Fires burned along the walls. The heat was intense. This simulation represents crisis, the figure said. Many species choose survival of self. What do you choose? A console flickered nearby, showing two options. One would allow a single shuttle to escape safely. The other would stabilize the station long enough for all inhabitants to survive, but with high risk. Malik stared at the display. Classic choice. Alara didn't hesitate. We stabilize the station. But that risks us, Rian said quietly. Alara nodded. Humans don't survive alone, we survive together. They worked fast. Leela rerouted energy flows. Rian recalculated systems. Tova adjusted thruster simulations. Malik coordinated emergency responses. The station shook violently, but slowly the alarms quieted. The fires faded. The star stabilized just enough. The glowing figure appeared again. You chose sacrifice over escape. That's how we've always done it, Alara replied. That's why we're still here. The simulation dissolved. They were back inside the archive chamber. The walls glowed brighter now, the hum stronger, warmer. You have passed the second test, the figure said. But there is one more. Alara straightened. We're ready. The room changed one final time. This time it showed Earth, not the modern Earth, but an early one. Storms raged, volcanoes erupted, the planet looked harsh and unforgiving. This is where you began, the figure said. Your world tried to end you many times. Images flashed, ice ages, massive storms, disasters. Yet you endured, the figure continued. Not because you were strongest, but because you refused to stop. The image shifted to show early humans standing together against the elements. Leela felt her throat tighten. You know our history. Yes, the figure said. And now you must answer. The image faded. Darkness surrounded them. Will you carry this resilience beyond your species? The figure asked. Or will you keep it for yourselves? Alara closed her eyes briefly. Then she spoke clearly. We share it, knowledge, protection, hope. That's what humans do. We build, we help, even when it's hard. The darkness lifted. The archive glowed brighter than ever. Symbols aligned, forming clear patterns. Then hear this, the figure said. The galaxy is not empty. It is wounded, and it needs guardians. Malik frowned. Guardians? Those who will stand when others fall, the figure replied. Those who will not turn away. A new image appeared, vast regions of space under threat from unknown forces, stars dimming, civilizations struggling. Rian exhaled slowly. You're asking humanity to step into something bigger than us. Yes, the figure said, because you already have. Alara felt the weight of the moment. This was no longer just exploration. This was responsibility. We'll need time, she said, to prepare to bring others. You will have it, the figure replied. This archive will guide you, teach you. The walls shifted again, revealing vast halls filled with knowledge, technology, history, maps of the galaxy. Tova smiled softly. Looks like we just became students of the universe. Alara allowed herself a small smile. And protectors. As they prepared to return to the shuttle, Alara glanced back at the glowing figure. We won't fail, she said, not by turning away. The figure's light pulsed once warmly. Then humanity has taken its next step. And far beyond the archive, the galaxy seemed to stir. as if it had been waiting for humans all along. The shuttle Intrepid drifted away from the alien archive in complete silence. Behind it, the massive structure slowly faded back into its cloaking field, becoming nothing more than empty space to the naked eye. Yet everyone aboard knew it was still there, watching, waiting. Captain Alara Kane did not speak as the shuttle returned to the Aurora's Pride. Her thoughts were heavy not with fear but with responsibility. Humanity had crossed a line that could never be undone. As soon as the shuttle docked, alarms did not sound. There was no panic. But when Alara stepped onto the bridge and gave the order to share everything they had seen, the ship changed forever. Holographic images filled the command chamber, the archive, the simulations, the glowing figure. The maps of distant regions of space filled with struggling worlds. The crew listened in complete silence. "So," Chief Engineer Voss finally said, "you're telling us the galaxy needs help and it chose us." Alara nodded. "Not because we're the strongest, but because we don't quit." Dr. Leela Chen stepped forward. "The technology stored in the archive is far beyond anything we have. Clean energy systems, defensive tools, medical knowledge, but it doesn't give answers freely. It teaches through effort. And risk," Malik added. "Yes," Alara said, "but humans grow through risk." The Colony Council met for hours. Some feared what stepping forward might bring. Others worried about attracting threats. But again and again, the same truth returned. Humans had never survived by hiding. By the end of the cycle, the decision was made. Humanity would answer the call. The Aurora's Pride changed course. Instead of heading directly to the colony world, it would first return to known human space. The archive had given coordinates to a nearby system, one showing signs of collapse. A test not of survival, but of compassion. Weeks later, the ship emerged near a dying star system. Sensors showed shattered stations, drifting debris, and failing energy fields around a small inhabited world. "They're losing power fast," Rian reported. "Atmosphere shields will fail within days." "They sent no distress call," Tova said quietly. "They may not have the ability," Leela replied. Alara stood tall. "Then we don't wait for one." The Aurora's Pride moved in. The first contact team included engineers, medics, and diplomats. The alien species were tall, thin beings with pale skin and slow movements. Their eyes reflected exhaustion more than fear. They called themselves the Velari. "We believed the galaxy had forgotten us," their leader said through translation systems. "Our technology failed. Our allies never returned." Alara met the Velari leader's gaze. "Humans didn't forget you. We just arrived." Human engineers worked without rest. Archive energy systems were adapted carefully, respecting Velari designs. Human medics shared knowledge freely. No demands were made, no control taken. Within 2 days, the planet's shields stabilized. The Velari watched in disbelief as their skies cleared and their cities glowed again. "You ask nothing in return," the Velari leader said. Alara shook her head. "We ask that you live." Word spread quickly. A species once ignored had been saved by newcomers who did not claim power, only responsibility. Elsewhere in the galaxy, eyes turned toward humanity. Not all were welcoming. In the dark reaches beyond known space, a coalition known as the Car Dominion observed silently. They had ruled through strength and fear for generations. Worlds paid tribute or vanished. A human ship saving others without demand was not just strange, it was dangerous. "They disrupt balance," a car commander hissed. "Hope spreads faster than fear." "Then we stop it," another replied. Back aboard the Aurora's Pride, Alara studied archive data with Leela. "The archive is guiding us," Leela said, "but it won't fight for us. It teaches, but the choices are ours." "That's fine," Alara said. "Humans never waited for someone else to fight our battles." The next weeks were filled with motion. Human ships delivered supplies. Engineers repaired failing systems. Scientists shared clean farming methods. Everywhere humans went, they listened first. Some species were cautious, others were desperate, but all noticed the same thing. Humans stayed. Then the first attack came. A Velari supply route vanished near a border region. Wreckage drifted silently. No survivors. Malik slammed his fist lightly on the table. "That wasn't an accident," Rian nodded. "Energy signatures match car weapons." Alara's expression hardened. "They're testing us." The crew waited for her command. "We do not strike first," Alara said, "but we will protect." Human ships formed escort lines around vulnerable systems. Archived defensive designs were adapted into shields, not weapons first. The message was clear. Humans would stand between danger and those who could not defend themselves. The car Dominion did not expect resistance without aggression. When a car patrol entered a protected zone, they were met not by weapons fire, but by human vessels holding position, shields raised. A human transmission echoed across open channels. "This region is under protection, turn back." The car ships hesitated. No threats, no insults, just certainty. They withdrew. The news traveled fast. Humans were not conquerors, they were guardians. Inside the archive, the glowing figure observed. "You choose restraint," it said softly. Alara stood alone in the chamber. "Restraint is strength, but strength invites challenge," the figure replied. Alara nodded. "We know." Back in human space, the first colony world was settled successfully. Children were born under alien skies. Human and Velari engineers worked side by side. Hope became something shared, yet Alara felt it, the tension building, the calm before a storm. One night cycle, Rian approached her quietly. "Long-range scans show movement," he said. "The car are gathering fleets." Alara looked out at the stars. "Then they're afraid," she said. "Should we be?" Rian asked. She shook her head. "Humans have faced worse with less." She opened a channel to all human ships and allied worlds. "Humanity did not come to rule," she said. "We came to stand. We will not turn away from fear. We will not abandon those who trusted us. If conflict comes, we face it together." Across many worlds, voices answered. Human voices, alien voices, united. Far beyond, the car Dominion watched the lights multiply across the stars. For the first time in generations, they hesitated. Because humanity was not alone. And because humans did not turn away, the galaxy felt different. Across dozens of systems, ships moved with purpose. Not in panic, not in fear, but with quiet determination. Human vessels flew alongside alien ships of many shapes and sizes. Some were old and worn, others were newly repaired with human help. All of them shared the same destination. They were forming a line. Captain Alara Kane stood on the bridge of the Aurora's Pride, watching the tactical display expand as more signals appeared. Each one represented a ship that had answered the call. "They're all here," Rian Mayers said softly. "More than we expected." Alara nodded. "People show up when something matters." Dr. Leela Chen studied the data streaming from the archive interface. "The car fleets are confirmed, 3 main groups, heavy ships. They're not hiding anymore." Malik O'Reilly crossed his arms. "They want us to see them." "Yes," Alara replied. "They believe fear will break us." She straightened and activated the wideband channel. "This is Captain Alara Kane of Humanity," she said calmly. "We are holding this region to protect civilian worlds. We do not seek conflict. Turn back." The response came quickly. A deep, harsh voice echoed across the channel. "You protect weakness," the car commander said. "Weakness must be erased." Alara's expression did not change. "Then you will have to go through us." Silence followed, then the car fleets advanced. The first exchange was not explosive. It was careful. Car ships tested the perimeter, probing shields, sending drones. Human vessels held formation, adjusting defenses, sharing data instantly across the network. "They're trying to find gaps," Rian said. "They won't," Malik replied. "Not today." Archive-designed shields absorbed the impacts, redistributing energy instead of collapsing. Human engineers had modified the systems not for attack, but endurance. "This is incredible," Leela whispered. "They're burning energy faster than we are." The car commander realized it too late. Humans did not rush. They endured. Hours passed. The stars shifted slowly as fleets maneuvered. Smaller allied ships stayed behind the human line, protected, watching in awe. Then the car changed tactics. "They're targeting a civilian world," Tova reported sharply. "Breaking off," Alara's eyes narrowed. "All forward units intercept. Do not pursue destruction. Block them." Human ships surged forward, engines flaring, not to chase glory. Not to destroy, but to shield. The car ships fired heavy weapons toward the planet. Human vessels placed themselves directly in the path. The impacts rocked hulls. Alarms sounded, but the line held. "Shield integrity at 60%, Malik called. "Redistributing power," Leela said. "We can hold." Alara gripped the command rail. "We hold no matter what." On the protected world below, alien civilians watched the sky light up. They saw unfamiliar ships absorbing fire meant for them. Hope spread like fire through dry grass. The car commander snarled. "They sacrificed themselves." "No," another car officer replied slowly. They choose to. That difference mattered, the archive observed silently. Humanity acts without certainty of reward, the glowing figure noted. This is rare. Back on the battlefield, a car flagship pushed forward, larger than the rest, its weapons charged with overwhelming power. That ship can break the line, Rian warned. Alara made her decision. All ships, she said clearly, focus shields, lock formation. Human vessels tightened their spacing, overlapping defenses. Energy flowed smoothly between them, each ship supporting the next. The car flagship fired. The blast hit the human line like a wave. For a moment, light filled space. Then it faded. The line still stood. Shields flickered, damaged but intact. The car fleet slowed. They didn't break, one car officer whispered. They should have, another said. Alara opened the channel again. This is your last warning, she said. Turn away. For the first time, hesitation rippled through the car formation. They had never faced this. Enemies who did not flee, opponents who did not strike back with rage, guardians who refused to fall. Slowly, the car fleets began to pull back, not defeated, but shaken. Cheers did not erupt on the human bridge. There was no celebration, only relief and resolve. We bought time, Malik said. Yes, Alara replied, and time matters. In the days that followed, something remarkable happened. More worlds reached out, not for weapons. For cooperation, for guidance. Human engineers trained others to build defensive systems. Medics shared knowledge freely. Archive lessons spread, not as control, but as shared growth. The galaxy began to change. The Car Dominion watched as systems once ruled by fear became united. Hope was becoming stronger than force. Inside the archive, the glowing figure met Alara again. You understand now, it said. The true test was never strength. Alara nodded. It was choice. Yes, the figure replied, and the final challenge remains. Alara's expression grew serious. What challenge? The archive revealed a map far larger than before. At its edge, a vast region of darkness pulsed slowly. A threat older than the car, the figure said. It consumes without reason. Many civilizations fell to it. Leela inhaled sharply. And now it stirs, the figure said, because unity has returned to the galaxy. Alara studied the map. If we stand together, she said slowly, can we stop it? The figure's light brightened. That depends on humanity. Outside, human and alien ships continued to patrol together. Children on distant worlds looked up at the stars without fear. Alara returned to the bridge. Prepare all fleets, she ordered calmly. Share everything we have learned. Rian looked at her. This is bigger than us. Alara smiled faintly. It always was. She gazed at the stars once more. Humanity had stepped forward, and once again they did not turn away, it did not signal, it did not threaten. It simply advanced. Sensors across hundreds of systems reported the same thing, stars dimming, energy fields collapsing, silence spreading where life once thrived. The ancient threat the archive had warned about was awake, and it was coming. On the bridge of the Aurora's Pride, Captain Alara Kane stood without speaking as the full scope of the situation appeared across the main display. The dark region pulsed slowly, like a shadow breathing. Dr. Leela Chen broke the silence. It doesn't think like us. It doesn't negotiate. It absorbs energy, matter, even light. Rian Mayers nodded grimly. Every civilization that faced it alone disappeared. Malik O'Reilly folded his arms. But none of them faced it like this. The display shifted. Human ships, Velari vessels. Dozens of allied species, once fearful, now standing together. Alara finally spoke. Open the channel, all fleets. Her voice echoed across space. This threat does not care who we are, she said calmly. It will not stop because we are afraid. It will only stop if we stand together. Humans will not command, we will not rule, we will stand beside you. Across many worlds, replies came back. We stand. Inside its core chamber, the glowing figure addressed Alara and her team. This entity cannot be destroyed by force alone, it said. It feeds on separation. Fear strengthens it. Then we do the opposite, Alara replied. We connect. The archive revealed its final lesson. A network, not a weapon. A system that linked ships, worlds, and minds through shared energy patterns. Not control, synchronization. Each species contributing what they could, technology, resilience, creativity, courage. It has never been attempted, Leela whispered. Neither has most of what humans do, Malik replied. The galaxy prepared. Engineers worked without rest. Scientists shared knowledge openly. Barriers between species dissolved as survival became shared purpose. When the darkness reached the first united system, the fleets were waiting. No one charged. They formed a circle. Energy flowed not as weapons fire, but as resonance. Shields aligned. Frequencies matched. Light from hundreds of worlds pulsed in harmony. The darkness slowed. For the first time in its long existence, it met resistance that did not strike, but endured. "It's reacting," Rian said, stunned. "It's confused." The entity pressed harder, draining energy, collapsing stars. The strain spread across the network. On the Aurora's Pride, alarms sounded. "Power levels dropping," Malik warned. Alara clenched her fists. "Hold the link." Across the network, ships trembled, worlds dimmed. Fear threatened to break the connection. Then something unexpected happened. A small Velari ship moved forward, channeling its remaining energy into the network. Then another. Then a human colony station. One by one, worlds chose to give what little they had left, not because they were ordered, because they believed. The network brightened. The darkness recoiled. Inside the archive, the glowing figure spoke softly. "This is what we hoped for." The entity began to weaken, not destroyed, but undone, its power unraveling as unity denied it fuel. With one final surge, the network expanded outward, pushing the darkness back into the void between galaxies, sealing it away where it could no longer feed. The stars flared. Then calm. Silence returned, but not the empty silence of loss, the living silence of peace. On the bridge, no one cheered, many cried quietly. "We did it," Rian whispered. Alara shook her head gently. "We all did." Across the galaxy, damaged worlds stabilized. Systems that had been fading slowly brightened again. The archive dimmed its glow. "Our purpose is complete," the figure said. "The galaxy no longer needs watchers." Alara felt a tightness in her chest. "What happens to you?" "We will sleep," the figure replied, "knowing we chose well." The archive began to power down, its structure fading once more into hidden space. Weeks later, life continued. Not as it was before, better. Trade routes reopened. Joint councils formed. Knowledge flowed freely. Humanity did not sit at the top, but always at the center, connecting. Children on distant worlds learned human words for cooperation. Human children learned alien stories of survival. Captain Alara Kane stood again on the observation deck, stars reflecting softly in her eyes. "Doctor." Leela Chen joined her. "The galaxy will remember this." Alara smiled faintly. "Not because we won, but because you stayed," Leela said. "Yes," Alara replied, "we stayed." A quiet message arrived from across the network, a simple phrase translated into hundreds of languages. "Thank you for not turning away." Alara closed her eyes for a moment, letting the stars wash over her. Humanity had been tested, not for power, not for dominance, but for heart. And when the galaxy needed someone to stand, humans did.